plan to save the struggling U.S. Postal Service passing in the Senate, but not before some pretty off-the-wall ideas were taken into consideration. My personal favorite was thrown out by Democratic Senator Tom Carper. Normally a very thoughtful man, he suggests harvesting electricity from windmills to power a new fleet of battery-operated delivery trucks. Don't know how that's going to happen. Time to bring out our panel. Clint David is a legal analyst for David Goodman and Medola in Dallas. Hadley Heath is a senior policy analyst for the Independent Women's Forum in D.C. And David Brer is a professor at George Washington University. David, let's start with you.
Tom Carper, smart guy, crazy idea. The post office is $16 billion in debt. We're not going to solve it with windmills.
Hadley, what do you say? You're in Washington.
Well,
what do you think?
Right. Senator Carper said we need bold, innovative ideas to solve our economic problems, and I agree with him. That's exactly what American entrepreneurs want to do. So the government needs to get out of their way by taxing and spending more of their dollars. And if Senator Carper wants to start his own business doing this, I welcome him to the market. Welcome to the marketplace.
We're not giving you a DOE loan for it, okay? That's all I'm saying. Clint,
right.
What's your opinion here?
Yeah, look, I'm an attorney. I'm not an expert in wind farms and electric vehicles, but what I do know is most senators I hear are completely full of wind, so that makes this senator a wind expert. So I'm guessing this is a brilliant idea, albeit bizarre. It's got to be brilliant.
Okay. All right. Well, here's another bizarre story. Former President Jimmy Carter is sticking by fellow Democratic President Obama, but Carter is saying he would be comfortable with Mitt Romney in the White House because he's a moderate. Hadley, I thought this story was hilarious this morning, and I bet the Democrats pick it right up. What'd you make of it?
I say, hey, it's all in the timing. At this point, the nomination is firmly in Romney's grasp. If this had happened earlier when he had some more conservative challengers in the primary, then it might make a bigger difference. But at this point, he's the nominee.
I don't think it's a challenge to his nomination, David, but I think it's amusing that Carter would come out and say this. He's trying to get his hands in the mix. He's trying to be a little evil here. What do you think?
Well, I think he's constantly trying to reinvent himself. You know, Americans remembered he had a ruined presidency. He wants to make the Obama people happy. He wants to make the Romney people happy. He's a nice man who just doesn't get it.
Clint?
You know, over the years, even going back to the Lust in My Heart days, I've always been fascinated by the comments made by President Carter. He has the unique ability to anger pretty much everybody, sure. Democrats and Republicans alike. Like you, Jerry, I find him immensely entertaining. You never know what he's going to say next.
True enough, true enough. Well, the TSA, that's somebody else who you never know what's going to happen next. Notorious for giving grannies and little children's invasive pat-downs. Now, the TSA allegedly allowing drugs to pass through their checkpoints at LAX. Turns out a man paid off some TSA workers $1,200 to turn a blind eye to his 8 pounds of meth. Clint.
This story frustrates me to death. You know, they look at baby formula, they check colostomy bags, yet they've got a process like this that allows drugs to go through. I think the most amazing part of this story is the fact that one of the TSA screeners let 8 pounds of meth go through, and he only wanted $1,200 for it. That alone tells you the type of people that they're hiring at TSA.
David, they're just not that smart, are they?
No, the good news is the Justice Department and the FBI works because they indicted those TSA agents today, so that's a good thing.
It is a good thing. Hadley?
My reaction to this story was the same as my cab driver's reaction. Thank goodness the only thing that was going through was drugs. I mean, can you imagine if on the inside of the TSA there had been people who really don't have our nation's interests at heart, who might have made a deal with the devil for other, explosive devices to go through?
Well, good point. All right. Some surprising news today coming from the housing sector. Pending home sales rising over 4% to the highest levels since April 2010. David.
Market goes up based upon 4% increase in contracts. Hardest part after you sign the contract is getting the loan. Still a bumpy road ahead.
Oh, good point. Hadley.
It is a bumpy road. I'm sure you saw the news earlier this week that 1 out of every 2 new college graduates is jobless or underemployed. So looking at the long term, these young Americans are going to have a very hard time buying homes or doing anything. This is going to affect their wages, their ability to purchase a home, and their family formation for years to come.
Clint.
I think it is good news. I mean, pending home sales are up, the highest they've been in almost 2 years. I know the housing market here in Dallas is as hot as I've seen it in years. I guess the housing market drug us into the recession in '07, and it looks like it's going to be the thing that will ultimately, hopefully, pull us out.
Well, at least Texas has an economy down there. I'm not sure much of the rest of the country does.
We do.
All right, turns out cheating on your significant other goes way beyond infidelity in the bedroom. A new survey revealing nearly half of people in committed relationships have lied to their partner about money. This includes lying about a new purchase and flat out hiding purchases and receipts from their partners. That never happens, does it, Hadley?
Oh, you know, I don't think this story is that troubling, to be honest. If someone's lying about a purchase in terms of how much it cost or depending on how big the purchase is, really, fewer than 10% of the people who answered this survey said they had committed a serious abuse of honesty in their relationship. They'd open a separate bank account or something like that. But if you're buying a Christmas gift and you don't tell your husband about it until it's time to give it to him, I mean, does that count?
That's what it was, David. It was a Christmas gift for my husband. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. I cheat. I buy my wife flowers, wine, presents, and I'm glad I do, and our relationship's better as a result of it.
I love that. Clint, what do you say?
You know, does anybody really believe that only 46%, and that was the number in the study, that only 46% of people lie to their spouses about money? You know, I don't buy it. I'm sorry. I'm betting the other 54% don't admit it because they're probably lying about something else. Call me cynical. I don't buy it.
All right. And it's not just flowers and wine. That's what you're saying. All right. Clint, Hadley, and David, thanks so much for coming on tonight. Great job, guys.